My neighbors have been asking me what bike to get. They ride with their kids a lot now and they need a way to haul gear and their toddler. I suggested a cargo bike just like mine. It's got the kid carrier, even a bike carrier, and every kid that sees it goes absolutely bananas. So I offered to build them one, a brand new, fully customized cargo bike under one condition. I get full creative freedom of everything on the build. So let me show you what we're planning. This is a Mongoose Envoy, an aluminum long-tail cargo bike. It's a great starting platform, but it's not ready for the Baker family just yet. It could use some better brakes, a better drivetrain, and definitely some customizations for the kids. The kickstand too. This thing needs to hold the bike while loading kids, and it's way too small. The bike can just tip right over. Plus, we're gonna do all sorts of things to make it fun and custom. Speaking of which, you may have noticed something else. There's no motor or battery on this bike. The Envoy is one of the few human-powered cargo bikes still around, and we're leaving it that way for a reason. See, Nicole's dad, Bud Griffin, loved bicycling. He was one of us. Even during chemo, he rode his bike, switching to a recumbent when he got too weak. His saying during all of this was simply, "Ride on," which Nicole and her sister now have tattooed on themselves. If Bud Griffin were still here, he would be their bike guy. The Griffin family would not be asking me for help, and I can only assume he'd want his grandkids to fall in love with bicycles. I can't tell you if he would have chosen a cargo bike, but our end goals are clear. When this thing's finished, we want those kids to be begging their parents to take this thing out on the bikeway. So we need to get this one right. No pressure. So where to begin? Right now it's easy to get to everything on the bicycle because it's just a frame, and so we're gonna do all the cables and brakes and all the stuff that's close to the metal and get it out of the way. The Bakers are just tall people, and so I'm gonna put as long a stem as I can on this bike to get their weight forwards, and then put these Redshift riser bars on there for comfort, because we're gonna attach hydraulic disc brakes to this bike. They're 6'4" dad with 2 kids on the back. They're gonna need some stopping power. Surprisingly, the existing brake hose will reach the back, no problem, but I have to run it through the frame. I'm gonna use this old brake line to pull it through the frame. Well, I guess we're not doing that. Then the front brake just bolts on. Now onto the drivetrain. This is a mountain bike derailleur, so it's got a clutch. It's gonna keep that big long chain from slapping everywhere over bumps, which is really nice. This micro shift stuff is super solid. And because this bike is new and it's got all Jaguar cables, I can reuse the housing for the shifter, which is already run through the frame. Now for the chain. It's gonna require 2 of these. That is a lot of chain. And it wouldn't be a cargo bike without a proper kickstand. So this stand is not really made for this bike, but it'll fit if we take the running boards off. That's a little bit depressing because I like the running boards and I plan to come up with some kind of bike rack with them, but my big dummy does not have running boards, and so this doesn't need them. We can figure out a way. It probably doesn't seem it with the magic of editing, but this kickstand has been killing me. Hours and hours trying to get it to fit, but finally with these 3D printed blocks and now one trip to the hardware store, it's gonna fit well in a way that I am genuinely happy with, but man, that sucked up a lot of time. That was pretty demoralizing. So end result, the kickstand's genuinely secure and safe, but it took 4 hours out of my day. It was supposed to take 10 minutes. This is made to fit a Surly. I made it fit this Mongoose. And so now we can do all the fun stuff, and I wanna start with a morale booster that is going to set the stage for the rest of this bike. So this is Bud Griffin saying, "Ride on." It's the same design as the tattoo that Nicole has. I took it and reverse engineered it and turned it into a 3D model. It bends, and so we can put it on the bike as a head badge. I am going to press it on there, heat it up, let it conform to that shape, and then we're gonna put it in place. It is 3D printed, but unless they park the bike on the surface of the sun, it should be fine. So there you have it. And I used green because that's one of the colors that Nicole told me to use for this bike. These kids have got to want this bike to be out on the greenway every single weekend. And so let's move on to the next thing, the kid carrier. Okay, this is how it's gonna look once I bolt this thing down and the kids are gonna sit here, but as others have pointed out, you don't want the wheel exposed here. And so I either have to screw a cover on here or install the bag. I just can't bear to do it. It just looks so good over here and it's just too much. Those two bags are huge. So I'm gonna put one bag on the non-drive side, and then we're gonna make a nice cover for right here and keep it really clean, a little bit lighter with less bulk. So now the important stuff is done. The kickstand is working. There's seating for the kids back here. Not bad. The bike's got a great drivetrain. It's pretty much a bike. But now is when we move on to the fun stuff, the things that are gonna make this bike really special for the kids. Their dad said,
I think it'd be super cool to have like some form of stereo on the bike. Just jamming out to Thunderstruck is like one of their core childhood memories right now.
A little Bluetooth speaker by the kids is not gonna hurt anyone. I think it's fun, great for the greenway, but putting the Bluetooth speaker in a cup holder or strapping it to the rack is lame. Let's make something custom. Okay, I've been tinkering and I have a solution for the speaker here. This is the speaker holder. You can see the speaker's in it, and the vents in the speaker actually come through the side. This is printed on nylon because it's hard and it looks nice. Then I have this little guy. It's gonna go on the bike, and this is at a 31-degree angle so that the speaker kind of sits facing upwards and looks proper. No! Yeah, I think you can see what I was trying to do. I'll move on to other things while a new one of these is printing out. So that was embarrassing, but hopefully I can redeem myself with the cup holder. So kids now, they all have one of these and they're all the same size. It fits right in here, and I made it nice and tight so it wouldn't come out over bumps. Where do you think this mounts? Well, it mounts to the rack. So you can see in the transparent version of the 3D model, there are these little zip tie channels. Let's see if they work. Okay, so I'm gonna take the zip tie, push it down, and it comes out the other side. There's 4 of them holding this to the bike, and that should be more than enough to permanently mount it. Drink holders, check. Now we'll move on to the next thing. This. I reviewed this in a recent product video. So it's a tail light and a pump all built into one, and you can see I put a Clik adapter on it so they can easily inflate their tires. Even the kids can use it. It comes with this thing which straps to the seat post. I took this little guy and recreated it. This is gonna bolt to where I took the reflector off of the bike. It's gonna be really cool, and I think the kids are gonna get a kick out of being able to inflate their own tires, because Clik valves, I have a stake in Clik, literally just push on and off like they always should have. That's pretty cool, and it's pretty cool that I can make it at home. This thing goes in there, you hold it down, and now you have the light. You can change the light flash pattern and everything, and then when you wanna take it off, all you have to do is grab it and twist it, and now you have a pump. The next one is really fun. If you've seen my cargo bike, you can carry a bike on it. It has a bike rack on the rear. Now, 16 inch is kind of the biggest bike that you can carry. Griffin rides a 20. If he gets tired, tough luck. He's gonna have to pedal it out, or maybe they can use a tow strap. But Evie is going to be stepping up to a balance bike soon, a Strider, just like Benny has. So I can use this to size out some kind of a bike rack. So I came up with this. We've got the back of the rack over here. This fits on just like this. It's pretty tight, and then we can put these screws in to hold it in place. Then these little O-ring clasps open, and then check out how easy this is. That's it. It would probably stay like this, but I put the little O-ring clasps to hold it into place. And then the weight of the Strider just kind of butts it up against here, and you can carry it around. So now they've got a cup holder, a pump, a light, and even a way to carry their Strider bike. The Bluetooth speaker bracket is printing, and while it finishes up, I'm gonna move on to some rapid fire customizations. Ryan told me that they just listen to Thunderstruck until their ears start bleeding. And so I made them their very own Griffin and Evie logo. I bet their friends don't have one of those. So tomorrow we'll be delivering this bike to the Baker family, but for now, that speaker mount is almost done printing, so I think we can install it and stare at it. normally there's a lot more we have to fix on a bike because it's an old bike that's been neglected or mistreated, and that is not the case with this one. It started off as a brand new cargo bike, and it's still a brand new cargo bike, maybe with a few used parts on it. It was sitting in my shed waiting for a purpose because this was not a restoration, this was a build. And it's not about the bike as much as it's about what it can do. This Hoopty kid carrier has 2 bars on it so that when the kid is holding onto it, there's another bar protecting them if something were to hit into the bike or the bike were to fall over. Each kid has their own bell. We can carry the balance bike. And overall, I think this is gonna be the bike that makes those kids wanna go out on the bikeway every single weekend. Because remember, the reason we put so much thought into this build is because of Nicole's father, who was one of us. He was a bicyclist. And I'm sure he'd be happy for his daughter and his grandkids to have yet another reason to go out and ride on. Okay, the bakers are here. And I'm gonna present to them their bike. I hope they like it. Hey!
We made it! Wow! Look how cool!
During the reveal, the kids were running around and there was a lot of commotion. It was very hard to give you guys a coherent narrative. And so I'll tell you what happened here. It was a success. The kids loved it, and actually Evie, when they first tried to put her on the bike, was like, what the heck is this thing? I'm not interested.
You wanna sit?
No.
Because she didn't know what it was. And then when they finally got her on it to ride it, the most amazing thing happened. She was obsessed. She was like just giddy with excitement. And when they tried to pull her off of the bike, she was holding onto the rails of the Hoopty kid carrier, trying to stay on the bike. And then we all had dinner, and she was telling random people in the restaurant with a 2-year-old vocabulary, my daddy was riding me on the bike. And actually, I have the bike with me here because after I saw them on the bike, I wanted to make some additional adjustments. I want to build some additional panels to block Griffin's foot from the wheel. And when they saw me taking the bike, they're like, wait, what are you doing? Where's our bike going? And so this is the best result I could have hoped for. I'm really happy that you guys were able to join me for this build. It's going to a deserving, hardworking family, and I think their grandpa will be proud. Thanks for riding with me today, and I'll see you next time.